welcome to A Side of Shade.
Yay, we're back.
We're back. It's only been, let's see, has it been 3 months? No, not quite. Don't do that. It's been 3 months.
Yes, it has.
Just 3 months.
Okay.
Yep.
Just at 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Testing.
Yeah. So summer. I mean, summer is not over, but
We took a
like
break.
well, no. I'm saying summer is unofficially.
Oh yeah, no, it's
over.
not quite over yet.
Right, but to us, it's like over.
Yeah, because we're back in
it's like,
school.
Once you're back at school, back at technically work, even though we did work over the summer.
But it's, still, it's
you
like
were off a lot, so don't even try it.
Did we all?
but it's still
work
like
over the
105
summer?
degrees outside.
It is, so still summer. Right. Okay. Oh, there's a delay. I was
What's the
going
delay?
on?
I'm
7-second delay. Don't worry about that.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm sorry, I lose focus. But anyway, so yes, we are back. We took a break, a much needed break, because we needed it, and now we're back, and it's time for A Side of Shade.
It is time.
Well, apparently she said that I came in with a
The spirit of shade.
a spirit of shade, and I wasn't really sure what that. First it was negativity. Then she was like, "Well, no, not really negativity, but
Shade.
Spirit.
Yes.
What is the spirit
I feel
of shade?
like the side of shade was on vacation, but your side, your shade,
Was still at work.
was
Still at work.
No, you know why? Because
It was still there.
I have to keep it with me because I just never know when I need to use it. So I really don't put it away. It doesn't take a vacation. It's constant. It's always ongoing, all-knowing, and always happening. So just know that about me. It just has to.
It's omnipresent.
It is. I mean, I don't want to become, like that, but I'm just saying it's what it is. But anyway, but yeah, so I'm glad to be back. And not like I didn't see you all over the summer, but
It was different.
Did you have a good summer?
I did. It was restorative. I slept a lot.
And still sleeping.
Well, I take naps.
No, she's still sleeping
I
now.
took a nap.
Oh, no, I'm agreeing with that part.
What's that?
What?
And still sleep.
Oh, it's
Exactly. Because every time
No,
you
I'm-
guys stop the.
what? Okay, but wait.
Yes.
And we wait.
We're listening.
Wait, I can't see past you.
Okay,
You know
so
what?
here's the thing. When Saturdays come,
Yes.
yes, I'm asleep. Or
In the event of an emergency, please do not reach out to Victoria
on a Saturday,
On a Saturday
at noon because I'm either sleeping or I'm indulging in brunch with mimosas.
Yes.
Yes.
She only replies when you roll up on her, like a
Pretty
third.
much. Like you were really
In a
been
public
on-
setting.
You officially vacated
I did.
for the summer.
I did. And even somebody else was saying, like, dang, I didn't see you at all this summer. I usually see you a few times. And I was like, I really stayed away.
Yeah.
I
You
really stayed
definitely-
away. No, I really did stay away this
In the
summer.
words of Burnt, you broke.
Yeah,
You
I
really
did.
broke.
I really did. No, I
Like,
really did.
That's what we do.
I
And
really
but
did.
your summer kind of started when you went to Cabo.
Yeah.
Kind of unofficially
Yeah.
started. You went to Cabo.
Yeah, that was sort of the prelude. And then I
Right.
still had a
Yes.
few projects to finish.
Yes.
And then by mid-June, that was a wrap.
Yeah.
That was a wrap.
And then what about your summer?
It was busy and eventful.
Very. I mean, but you had the Cabo, and then you went to LA.
Mm-hmm.
And what else did you do? It was something else you did. You had some show. You did a lot this summer.
Yeah, I had
You
events.
worked a lot.
Yeah, I
You
did a
did
lot of
work. You worked a
working.
lot.
Yes. But no, as far as travel,
Yeah, that was
Cabo
your
and
only
LA.
two trips.
Yeah, I have maybe
Yeah.
1 or 2 more coming up, but then that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What'd
I
you
was
do?
I was in class.
We didn't
for-
toast.
Oh yeah, when did that end?
That ended right before I went to Vegas, mid-August,
Right,
like August
okay.
12th.
Yeah.
And so so my summer was like not really like it.
Yeah,
was
you were sad.
I was sad the whole summer, like
Because you
I'm
felt
not
like you were
even
missing
lying.
out.
I
But you
was
really
missing
were.
out. But my friend, people were telling me like you're not available, you're not around, you're not. And I was trying to like this class. You all know that this particular class that I was taking was serious business.
Yeah.
And I was determined to get through this
That's right.
with a great grade because I needed a B. So I had to focus.
That's right.
And I couldn't get distracted, even though
Right.
people would text me like,
Right.
what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just not available. I can't be.
Right.
And it's gonna be that way again coming this fall. But I just had to focus, and thank God I got to be out the class. So that
Yes.
and so then I was able
Won't
to
he do it?
relax.
Won't he
He
do
did.
it?
He did. He made the Lord. Yes, he came through because I needed it. Like I was waiting.
I was waiting. Who's he?
You all listen.
Krishna.
You all.
Tell the people who he is.
Let me just say this about anyway. So that was the summer, but I feel like what's interesting is like when all we do is talk shit on this show. Like that's what we do. We talk shit, we shoot shit, we chilling,
we
right?
Yeah.
We have a good time together. But it's always comes a time when it's always something we come across, like whether we're together or whatever. We like always have a story to tell.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Always.
I just like to share this particular one because I thought it was freaking hilarious.
Please.
So we are at an event, a cookout, and and I normally like cookouts. I like cookouts, but I normally cook in. I don't like to be outside with the elements. That's first off. I gotta say that because I don't want to be touched by bugs, looked at by bugs, felt on by
Looked
bugs.
at.
I don't want them near me, right?
And I got 8 up that
And
night. I didn't
got
even
big
realize.
bags.
I
Like,
didn't
and
even
only
realize.
because that the situation called for me to be outside, I was outside.
Yeah.
But anyway, but I had a funny encounter with he was a coworker, right?
I think we can just say it.
Yeah,
A white
person.
man.
A white man. And what's funny is that I had on my shirt that said, "Won't he do it?" And he said to me, the white man said,
Who's he?
"Who's he?" And this one was behind me laughing hysterically. And I'm just standing like, I'm thinking to myself, don't everybody know? When the shirt says, "Won't he do it?" Don't everybody know who he is? But he didn't know. And
Clearly,
so I
not
felt
everybody.
like, you know what? I'm glad you asked.
It's a teachable moment.
It was a teachable moment from my culture to yours to say, he is God. And then, once you say God, it's like,
was like,
I'm ready.
nothing-
He was like,
nothing
whoa,
else.
I
All right.
ain't nothing else to say. So then this one still going on and on, girl, and it was just the talking that we still laughing.
I had to
about
tell
it.
everybody.
She had to tell everybody. So then later after the cookout,
That same
I went
night.
that same night, still had the shirt on, won't he do it? I go to Lido's, little young guy, teenager. I come in the store, he said, yes, he will. I said,
Yeah.
you gotta love our people. It's no question
no
about
question.
who
He
is.
is.
Right.
He is he. He
Yes.
is the Lord. The Lord is he.
Amen.
The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Won't
is
he
who
do
he
it?
is.
Won't he?
Won't he do it?
Yeah.
I wasn't talking about my husband. I wasn't talking about my boss.
Because
It's
talking
he.
about him.
He is God. Him. The Almighty.
Yes.
And I just said we laughed about that. For
Always on
I
time.
laughed about it by myself
still laughing about
today. Just
So
thinking
now every
about
time
it.
I hear it, I just keep thinking about it. Who is he?
Who is it?
Who is he?
But it's just so funny because we always talk about how culturally, like, there's certain things that we
Yeah.
just all know.
Yeah.
It just is what it is, and it's no question about.
No question.
Right. It's just what it is. We know who he is.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so we laughed about it. Just wanted just wanted to share that little situation.
Like, God is good
Yeah,
all the time.
and because that's what we're saying. Like, what are some sayings that people like automatically
Yeah,
you know?
you know.
Soon as somebody say it,
You can fill it in.
you can just fill it
Mm-hmm.
in. And if you can't,
Yeah, I don't know who
you're not a part of
raised
the
you.
culture.
Who raised
not a part of the
you?
culture.
Because I'm saying, if somebody
The culture with a K. You're not a part.
Don't
We
do
kicking
it.
you out.
You're not a part of the culture with the K. You're not. You're right.
We kicking
Culture
you
ain't
out.
even part of the culture with the K. Like, it doesn't exist. I'm sorry. It's a C. But anywho. No, but it's funny because, like, then you think about all, like, the different things. So when you somewhere, like, if you at a cookout and soon as the music come on, everybody know immediately.
yeah,
Okay, before I let go.
yeah.
It's like certain things we
Yeah.
just know
Yeah.
to be, So it's just funny. So I just culturally. But I appreciate them asking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because some folks wouldn't ask. And maybe
And
they
then
went
later
home
be
and
like,
said, what's that about?
Yeah.
But he asked.
Yeah, it was
But
good.
anyway, so that was fun.
good.
But anyway, so as we transition into, like, well, we're still technically summer. But I feel like once Labor Day comes, I just really...
We're on the downslope.
Yeah.
I
to
saw
fall.
a lady in an all-white dress, and she walked right past you, and I just like, oh, Lord.
Well, you know, it's funny
Please
because
don't
a
see
friend...
her. Please don't see her.
One of my friends on Facebook actually talked about that. She was saying she wore all white. And I was like,
After Labor Day?
Yeah, like, I think today she said, and then I saw somebody comment saying they got the boots, and they ordered their white boots. And you know what? Hey, I have no issue with other people wearing white after Labor Day. They do what you do. But for me...
Whoa.
No, I'm saying that because I cannot. That's no different than. I'm just saying if you want to wear white, because that to me, I think it's really no rules anymore. People just do what they want to do. Right. So I'm fine with that. That's what I'm saying. But for me, in my house, as the Lord say,
Everybody in the house.
nobody can wear white after Labor Day.
Got to go.
Well, not nobody. But for me, it's just for me. It's sick. To me, it's just that's how I change seasons.
When
know
you
what I
say
mean?
your house, I'm thinking of people who live there. You're
No, I'm
like,
just playing. Me and my
No, I
house
was
are talking
thinking
about me. It's from the church. I mean, from the Bible. Me and my house gonna serve the Lord. You don't know that one?
no, I'm saying when you say in my house,
Oh,
Right.
I mean, you think I'm saying
of the
everybody?
whole, yeah. the
everybody who
entirety.
lives there.
I feel like everybody should, but I mean, my mother even asked me like, "Is it okay to wear this particular thing?" I'm like, I mean, but it,
Because you let people be great.
I do
in your
let
house.
people great. I say,
In
hey,
your
if-
in your house.
I do.
In your house, you
I
let
let people be great. I say, if you want to wear white after Labor Day, by all
Godspeed.
means, do it. Do you? But I say, for me and my house, meaning me.
Yes.
I don't do it because for me, after Labor Day, I then transition
Yeah.
to my fall situation.
Yeah.
Now, I don't have on boots and
Right.
a coat
Right.
right after Labor Day, but in my mind, it's time for me to change.
Yeah, I feel
That's
like
how
the
I
leather is
transition.
pushed real close to the front though.
The leather, it's
like
I saw a
pushed
dude
real
yesterday
close
with
to
a
the
with a
front.
jacket on,
Leather
and I was
jacket
like,
on?
it's 90 degrees.
Why do they have a leather jacket on?
I have no idea. It was morning, so it was like 75, but
It's
still, it was
still too
No,
75.
it's too hot for the leather
It
jacket.
was, he had on a
But that's
full
a-
leather jacket.
So for me, that's how I transition. And you know me, like, honestly, we were off on Monday. So that weekend, I was really looking
the
forward to
closet
getting my
ready.
I was getting my closet together, getting organized. But that's how I transition.
Yeah.
What do you normally do?
Same thing.
So
Yeah, I haven't started it yet, but in my mind, it's like, oh, the colors can shift.
this is what I'm saying. Your nail
And
polish.
so
is
nail
gonna
polish
shift.
shift. Even like with what I'm wearing, I'm like, okay, this is summery because it's hot, but my colors are a bit more moving into.
Yellow can go from
That's right.
summer to.
That's right. So it's more like a golden. So I move my colors,
Thank
and in
you.
my mind, I'm like, it's time to start. Now the weather, of course, but
Says yes. Hold on.
right. But like I'm bringing
the
out my
arms out.
sweaters, but I have like a tank top underneath.
Look at this.
You know. So
How
I'm
do-
just transitioning
You
the
don't transition.
colors.
What do you do? You don't care.
Nothing.
You don't think that hard about it.
I don't
The
put that much
seasons
thought
actually
into
don't
it.
change,
Like
right?
I don't. Cause your clothes go from
They do.
all
Year
year
round.
round.
They
They're
do.
365.
That's what, but it's funny. I wonder if it's like generate, cause that's how Nia is.
Because sometimes I feel like if I put tights on with it, I feel like it's fall appropriate.
Tights on what? This?
A
With
tank
this
Not
dress.
necessarily this, but
Like a
if I had
tank
wore a
dress.
long sleeve shirt under this, it's fall appropriate.
Yeah, that would be.
And like
And what's
a
the
few
shoes
dresses.
gonna be doing?
I mean, but then the shoes, of course. But then if I can't wear the same.
No, but that's true because that would
but-
be cute with like a tank top.
Yeah,
I mean, a turtleneck.
that's what I'm saying. So a lot of
Turtleneck.
my pieces, I don't think too much into
I know
clothes.
you
Like
don't.
it's not one of the things that I just.
It might be generation.
My
I
makeup
think it has to be.
transitions.
Oh,
that's
see.
important.
My clothes.
Yeah, because you were working on your
Yeah,
fall
you do
face
work on your
the
fall
other
face.
day.
Yeah, I need to
Your
know.
colors,
like,
right. What's
yes,
new.
the lip needs to. Yes. It
See,
needs
that's what I'm
to-
saying. But that's so
Interesting.
that's your transition.
It is okay.
So
I'll
you
take
do
that.
have a transition.
Yeah,
For me, it's everything.
where our makeup stays the same.
My makeup stays the same.
But then
you
our
know,
clothes
but
change.
now she did hit me last year about my reds.
Except for our lipstick.
Right.
Yeah.
She told me the reds,
There's
like
levels.
some of my reds have to change.
Really?
So I won't
Because you
wear
have like
the
a candy
pinky,
apple brighter,
pinky
okay.
kind of reds.
right?
Right.
You want to move into the burgundy or
Right.
the wine,
And you know I'm
color.
fine.
Right.
With
Because you can take your bright ones and like make it with like a chestnut pencil or like a cyber world or something like that to give it a little bit more of a fall feel.
I see.
Yeah.
But you
More
can't
like
just
a
go
wine.
candy apple.
Got
Right,
it.
because I came and I
Okay,
was
got
like,
it.
one day, I think it was last year when the seasons were changing, and I was like, "You like this lip color?" She said, "I do, but not for this season." And I was like, "No." Okay, so that means then
Got
anyway.
it.
So it's that. But Nia was saying the same thing. You know that she was like, "Mom, my clothes don't transition. It's one." The seasons don't change in
Yeah.
her closet. She keeps everything, and me, I take things out.
Yeah,
No.
I
I
pack
don't
things
keep-
away.
Well, no,
Yeah.
some things I do take out, but they have to be like true summer pieces,
Because some
like
things
the
are
bathing
just
suit.
thin,
Yeah,
like
that's
the
what I'm
like you said,
saying,
like the
like-
bathing suit.
Well, I hope you take the bathing suit off because I'm just saying if I don't want to see you with the bathing suit and turtleneck.
Right.
I don't want to see it.
I'm just like,
Like a high waist.
No,
tube
she would.
cardigan.
But I've seen her transition pieces from summer to fall.
And you will see
that were
it
not appropriate.
this fall.
No, they weren't appropriate. They weren't
But it's the
appropriate.
materials. You have to look
She
at
don't
the
care about
material.
that. That's what she's
Because
saying.
sometimes
did
the
I wear a
dresses-
cardigan with it?
This is what
Did
I'm
I wear a
saying.
blazer with it? Did
The
I have
black
on
blazer.
tights?
Why do we think that's another thing?
It's the
Why
black blazer.
do people love they think everything you do to make a professional turn
Put on the black blazer.
You put the blazer on, that's turning so you can wear a whole bathing suit with
a
the butt
blazer.
out and put a
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and
but
not
blazer
work
on.
appropriate.
Because her thing is
If I'm
she
sitting at
behind
the
that.
desk, if I'm appropriate from here up, I'm good.
You're like an anchor
Like,
woman. You're like an anchor woman.
Yeah, I'm here.
Until she comes
Until you
out
have to go
and
to the
her ass is out and she got flip flops on.
Reporting live from and back to you, Bob. Yes. If I'm good from here, I'm good.
Until you gotta go to a
Until
meeting.
Bob says, "Hey, can we talk for you?"
Then you stand up with Oh, I'm sorry, we still live, Bob. My bad.
But that's my point. Like, it's just for me, like, personally. I'm so, I can be anal about these things.
Yes.
So this is me. I am. I ain't not gonna lie.
Not
But
can be, you are right.
I am when it comes to colors, color schemes. Like this now, like this, like colors just mean something to me. Like I'm not gonna be wearing bright pinks and all that.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel seasonal.
And like one time, it was like clearly into fall, and Nia had on white polish on her toes, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm sorry.
Yeah, because I don't wear
What's
black.
going on here?
I don't wear black nail polish in the summer.
But people do.
I don't.
I know people do.
For some
but
reason,
I
I
feel like
cannot
that's
wear
just too
black.
dark.
It's too dark.
It's too dark.
It's not saying summer.
It's not saying summer.
And at Lincoln Park After Dark, which is
And
one of
no,
my
it's the
favorites.
Love it.
You can't do
But
that.
But I can't
in
do it
summer.
in the summer.
It's not appropriate.
So, so it's like, so anyway, so that's how I feel like, we transition from one season to the next. But then you think about like other things you had going on. So whatever your summer goals were, you might have had things you want to get done and all that. Because mainly it's like vacations and, I wanted to do this summer, go to here, there, whatever. Mm-hmm. But what other things do you transition, or do you set goals, separate goals for each season, or how does that work?
That's a good question.
Do you set different goals for the season, or does it just like, is it just like one continuous, like I'm working on this and it just so happened to now be September, even though I started in June kind of thing?
I think I set goals for my business, but I don't know if the seasons match like summer, winter, spring, fall type situation. I think it's just like, okay, prom season has ended, wedding season has ended, you know, portraits and your portraits. So those I set goals for,
no,
but
not necessarily like I have a fall goal. No.
Okay.
And I think I do mine by the semester. Mm-hmm. So for the fall semester, to me, it's just more of like, I'm busy. Like, that's pretty much it. It's like, I'm going to be scheduled. I'm going to have less time. So I know I'm going into September thinking, okay, here we go. You know what I mean? Like my time is limited and scheduled because it's full. And then I have that like winter break, which is sort of like a season because it's a whole month.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, what am I going to do during that time?
Right.
And then this is the spring. And then when it's the summer, it's like, okay, now I have the summer.
Do
what
you
am I
ever
gonna
teach
do?
summer? No. Okay.
But
So I do it in chunks like that.
Right. But you achieved an awesome goal this summer.
I did.
I mean, hello.
Let's toast to that.
Yeah, let's toast.
But first,
to
let's toast to your B.
Okay.
Because we had some successes.
Sorry.
Leave my cup alone.
We'll have to do the clink clink for her. We had a lot of successes this summer.
We did have a lot of success. Well, let's start by, before we say the success, let's just kind of, there were some challenges this year for sure. Right? Can you hold on? We had a lot of challenges this year. I think everyone did personally. It was a lot going on. And so when one of the things we always say, we want to celebrate our successes publicly. Meaning like, hey, let me tell you, I did this, I did that. So that's why we want to publicly say, yes, you turned the big 3-0.
Whoop, whoop.
Cheers to you.
Welcome
to
to
adulthood.
Yay. Can I sit now?
Mm-hmm. And then I got a B.
Yay.
You did. Yay.
Woo. We worked for that B.
Cheers.
We did. That was a village B.
That was the village B. Yes, Lord.
And then Victoria.
I wrote my book.
Yay. Oh, and tell them the whole story.
And it went to number 1.
Yay!
On
She is a
Amazon.
best-selling
I'm a
author.
best-selling author. It was
How
only at number
amazing
1
is
for a
that?
few hours, but I'm gonna take that.
No, who cares?
Listen,
I know it doesn't really matter.
I don't care
Because all you gotta say is I'm number 1.
She was a number 1 best-selling author.
Yes. Untangled, a Black woman's journey to personal, spiritual, and sexual freedom. Available now on Amazon Kindle. The paperback will be available.
I'm sorry. Are you
Yes.
narrating the
Did
book?
you see the? Did you
Are
hear
you
the
gonna
I know,
boy?
you see, I went.
Yes.
Like in
No,
this
I don't know. I have to
audio,
figure that. I know. I
you
have to figure
should.
this out.
You have
Yes.
to do it.
You have the
Yeah.
You
voice
got the
for
voice
it.
for it.
That might be something
You don't want
to
me
look
talking
into.
because, girl, then what happened?
Yeah.
You have the voice
Because
to
that,
do it
I'm
out.
about to say, let both of us do it. So,
And then he said,
so then that should mean I can be like,
It's 2 different versions.
Yeah.
It's got to be 2 different
What?
versions. The comforting
Oh,
version.
right.
And then,
yeah, not the one you listen to at night.
Right, not that one.
No, we the one you
you
just
gonna
go
hear
that
like,
long car
and
ride.
he said to that nigga, run.
And
That's
when
for the
he had
next.
said,
That's for the next book.
no, you do. You gotta have 2 versions.
Yeah.
The
Two versions.
turn up version
Yes.
and then the one that you can go to sleep.
The introduction on ours is gonna be the trap music.
Right.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Interesting. But yeah, so that was very, very exciting. So that was really what I was focusing on this summer, was really getting that done. There was some other challenges and stuff going on, trying to rest, trying to just recuperate, but really focusing on, because that has been a project I've been working on since the end of 2016. And I really, really want to get it done. And so I did, and it's out. And yeah, the paperback will be out I guess later this month. I haven't gotten an exact date yet.
Right.
Okay.
But they can get the Kindle version.
But yeah, you can get the Kindle version right now
Yes.
on Amazon.
Yes.
Yay. And I've been getting some good reviews.
Good.
There's 3 reviews on Amazon right now. People that I don't know.
Right.
Which
That's
is nice.
important.
Yeah, and then like a few people have hit me up on Facebook with comments about how they loved it, how it spoke to them, resonated. I was talking to somebody last night on the phone. Someone who knows me personally, but felt like I feel like I understand you more now because there are things details that I
Right.
just didn't know.
Right.
Because like we talk all the time, but there's still certain things that like I just don't think about. You don't
Yeah.
think about certain things that you've gone through until something comes up, and they're like, oh yeah, I went through blah blah blah. So just in sort of sharing that,
Right.
they were just sort of like, I get it now.
Yeah.
Like I get why you are the way you are now, why you say certain things, why you the whole 9. Like it makes sense now.
Well, I mean, I think that's like a courageous thing to do.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Like to put everything out for the world to see and share and because you're letting people into your space.
Yeah, it's a very intimate book.
Yeah.
Because it's about my journey to like those 3 areas, but primarily my sexual identity, coming to my own around that. And so I talk about my marriage. I talk about, and I reference people, and I don't, say them by name. So I did have to sort of give people a heads up, like, by the way,
Right.
this is coming out,
Remember
and
the time you did it?
right,
It's in there.
just so because there's certain things, and I say in the book that it's not about me airing my dirty laundry. This
Right.
is just my life,
Right.
Yeah.
and I just feel like there are certain things that when you know that somebody else is going through something, because I actually start the book talking about when somebody else was going through something, I heard about it, and that was like, oh my goodness, and that helped me.
Yeah.
And I just feel like when you hear that someone else has gone through something, and I don't give tips or anything in the book, because I didn't want it to be like do these 5 things to
Right.
like whatever, because everybody's journey is gonna be different. So I described my situation and then broke down the various aspects of things that were important. So that way people can see themselves in there wherever.
Right.
And maybe it's not so much, oh, she did these 5 things, but it's like, oh, okay, I didn't know about this piece. Let me try that. Or I'm going through something similar, or no, I didn't think about that. And wow, I really want to go to therapy, but okay, well, she had 3 different therapists. So,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, just different things to know that like this is part of the because oftentimes we see like, okay, here's where you are now, but like, what does it take to get there?
Right. Yeah, because at this point, people see not the finished product, but they
they see
this
professor,
process,
therapist,
right,
whatever.
right.
Like you living your best
They
life. I'm like, yeah, I am,
experience
but like,
all of that.
yeah,
To get there, the
Yeah.
journey. Which most
That's
people
what I
don't.
love most about part of your story. Like I know some of your story. I haven't finished the book, but I have started reading it because you said it was something in there about me. So I'm trying to get to that part because I haven't quite figured that out.
Did I say there's something in
I
there?
was joking.
Oh, okay.
But
I
I
was
was
like-
trying to say, I was waiting for you to be like,
I
yeah,
didn't
you got to
put-
that
I didn't
chapter.
put-
All right, I just thought I'd read
Because
it.
y'all came into my life after.
It was a
Right.
reach. It was.
Yeah.
I mean, she wanted to be in it. That's
I
what
know.
she's saying.
I'm just
I
saying.
appreciate it.
A little shout out at the end. Whatever.
I was like, I don't.
Your name is
I
out.
mean, I'm just saying.
Okay.
Ooh.
But
It
anywho,
didn't
you
even have to be a
started
whole name.
reading
It could have been an initial. All right.
You started
Anyway,
reading it.
I'm just saying because of you. So we often had a conversation about how people perceive you when they first meet you, and it's just amazing that your story is completely different. So even when explaining certain things to them, they're like, "I'm sorry,
Right.
Victoria,
Right.
who?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yeah."
Yeah.
Well-
and then when you get the backstory,
Right.
you're
And
like,
then like,
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know, but so I didn't when we first met. When I think about it, so now when I think about when we first met at work,
yeah.
so I didn't know
how long ago was this? Wait.
this was how long ago was that?
I started.
Well,
there.
no, you came
I started
right
in
after
20
me, right?
Yeah, I came in
Yeah, she
2012.
came after. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you were there.
Yeah.
I didn't know who you were.
Right.
But I would see you, so it had to have been about a year in.
Right. That we
So probably
I'm
like
not sure when we
2013
started to
probably.
kinda go
So
to
probably
lunch. I
around
don't
like
know
2013, 2014.
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But it's funny because I feel like
Yeah, it was definitely 20. It was
2012?
2012, 2013.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. But so how you share things is always interesting to me because it's never like it's kind of just like bang. I'm like, oh, okay. Like with no, it wasn't even we wasn't even talking about anyway. We were talking about sexuality. And I don't even know how it happened, but we were at lunch, and I don't know. We were talking about marriage. I don't know what the conversation. And then you was like, I think you said something about being a lesbian.
I
but
just
would-
inserted
I
it
know
into the
you just inserted
conversation.
in the conversation.
And then
I
looked
was
at you like what?
And just like
As you said with your
Right.
with your fork and knife,
I
and
was
was
cutting my
like,
mango.
probably mango.
Yeah.
No, but so my point is that in our relationship, everything we've shared has never just been. Let me tell you about what's going on. Like that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
always just been like, yeah, cause so you be like, I'm sorry. We just not
Right.
we're not gonna
Yeah,
pause
yeah,
on that. It's
I have
never-
plenty of those moments.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's never a
whoa.
pause with you. It's
Wait
just-
a
You're right.
minute.
No, you're right.
You're not just gonna ease past that like
Yeah,
you ain't just
you're
said
right.
what you said.
And I'm just like, okay, but that's
And
funny.
it's
That's
so-
how you. And that I
Yeah.
don't know if that. And tell me if this is true or not, because it may not be. But I don't know if that was how you now deal with, instead of pulling back and not being upfront, but now I'm just going to tell you.
Yeah.
And just okay. So that's how I was going.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, it's absolutely intentional. One, because I don't feel like I have to keep coming out.
Right.
Because I feel like this is my life, and particularly when I know it's a safe space, as
Yeah.
safe as probably. Of course, I didn't know your position or anything, but I was like, I feel comfortable, so I'm just gonna say it, and then whatever happens, happens. Like if I find out that you're homophobic, then okay, I cut you off, and but like if not,
You're
you know.
Yeah.
But so certain things like that, I made a conscious decision to just talk about it.
Right.
And
Right. Well, do you think that if I was thinking about like if I decided to write a book, like what would the name be? What
It
would
would
the
be,
title be?
first of all, the cover,
What would the cover? What
the
would it?
photo, the
Because
picture.
that
I
would
look
come
at it
first.
too. Hold on.
all
Hold
that
on.
would come first.
Hold on.
all that would come
No.
before you even start
It-
writing the damn
it
book.
might be a-
It'd
it might
like,
be a-
so what is the
It
thing
might be
gonna
a
look
table
like?
book. You know those table photo
Right,
books?
right.
It might be that. Images.
Well, it could be images.
Of selfies and outfits
No, because I'm
and nail
not-
polish.
That's
no,
what
nail
the book
polish
could be.
That could be a book. That could be a whole book.
Yeah.
And the
on
title of the
nail
book could be like, "Wait, is your nails chipped?" With her like,
But I was thinking
I'm
more of a.
sorry.
I was thinking more of a bar. Is that a
With the
autobiography?
finger going.
it's gonna be a
I'm
book.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Hold on, I was being real serious right
No,
now.
we are too. Like, I'm sorry. That would be fun.
I think people over here laughing about it. It's not funny. What I'm saying is, first of all, your book cover is you,
Yes.
right? So that's what I'm saying. Like the colors you thought about. I know
Yeah.
you put thought into it, right? First of all, and then the title has meaning because it's about your all of that, untangling all of that about your journey, right?
Yeah.
For me, I'm just like, all I was thinking, my first thought for my title of my book would be, girl. That's what I was thinking. And the reason why I say that,
So
Oh,
would
that was
just
it,
be
that was it.
girl
That
or
was
girl?
girl.
That's what I was thinking.
With a U, with a I. Girl.
no, like, because that ain't going to be girl love, because that ain't how I
No,
feel.
no.
But
That's
it's like,
What are you? Girl.
just girl.
yeah.
But would the subtitle be "That's what I was thinking"? Or you're
No,
just saying, okay,
that's what I was thinking. No,
Okay.
not that's what it's
okay, it would just be girl.
Girl,
Okay.
right? And so then it could be a series of subtitles, like, I'm sorry.
See, I'm sorry.
Are your nails chipped? Or, I'm sorry. You got white on? Like, it could be a series of
Yeah.
things that I would have. So, like,
Yeah.
the book would just be things that I would say.
But that would be so much fun.
It would be fun.
Because each chapter,
would be, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
You don't know who he is. Okay. So, that's what I
I'm
feel
sorry.
Like. What would your
I
book-
don't
no,
eat
seriously,
that.
What would your book be? Outside of, would it be makeup? Don't laugh. Kristen, what would it be?
I already
I could just so see.
That's a book.
Aren't you ready for
But
this
I
book?
feel like-
Nikki, would you buy that book? If my book, because Victoria wrote a book called Untangled.
I'm sorry, I did not.
Yes.
Yes, Untangled, a Black woman's journey to personal, spiritual, and sexual freedom, available
you
now
gotta
on
say.
Amazon Kindle.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Yeah. So I
I'm
was
sorry.
saying.
What's the book called again?
Untangled, a Black woman's journey to personal, spiritual, and sexual freedom, available on Amazon.
Shameless Love good.
I need some tea.
I'm sorry. Right. What's the name again?
And go.
Untangled, a Black woman's journey to personal, spiritual, and sexual freedom, available now on Amazon.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm done.
What's
I'm done.
Untangled mean?
Kristen need to get her.
How'd you know that's where I was going?
What?
So what is Untangled?
It's my book.
No, I got that.
What book?
But like, okay. So I wrote a book called You Are Not the Father.
Oh, okay.
My book is because
not
You were not the father.
I was
You were on
raising a
Maury,
son that
and they
was not
said-
mine. time.
Okay.
Oh, really?
So
Wait,
I don't like that.
Whoa, you
Back
can't just
up.
go past that.
Back up
Back,
a
back.
phase.
So, were you raising a son that wasn't yours that you
was
knew
raising a
wasn't
whole
yours?
son?
no,
Or you
I
didn't
found
know?
out when he was 11.
11
Yeah, crazy.
years
right?
old?
Years old.
And so
Oh,
was the
nah.
book about your
that's why
story?
my title is called that. What does untangle mean?
Untangled means it's the process that I went through in figuring out who I was as a sexual person.
Untangled like emotions. and
Untangled
just
from
you.
untangled
That's
from
heavy.
the story that
That's
I was
heavy.
living that wasn't mine.
It was somebody else's story. Mm-hmm. So you were tangled up.
I was tangled up in a lot of hurts and pains that weren't mine, a lot of fears that weren't mine, an identity that wasn't fully mine. And so I had to get untangled from that to figure out who I actually was and to be myself.
I don't want to spoil any spoilers. Sorry to interview you, but
No, it's okay. Because the
so
book is available
when
now
did-
on Amazon.
When did you reach that moment where
Kindle.
you realized that you were tangled?
Yes, well, I talk about this in the book.
That's what I'm saying. I don't give away nothing.
And
Look, chapter 8.
Right.
Tangled.
We wanted to buy it.
yeah, no, I talk about this in the book.
talk about
And I actually start the book with it.
Was
that
it an
there-
aha moment
yeah.
on your own?
No, it was a conversation that I was having with my mom about a family member of my aunt who was leaving her husband for a woman. And my mom called and was giving me just the family rundown. And she said, oh, you know, so-and-so, they're getting a divorce because, you know, she's leaving for a woman. And, like, that was all I heard. After that, it was like, wah, 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 wah.
Charlie Brown.
Because I literally was like, oh, my God, like, that's going to be me in a few years.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And then that just sort
Do
of,
you
that...
have a,
And the rest of the story can be
audio
found
version?
when you purchase.
No, it's not. That's what we
Because
said.
I don't have
You
time
like the
to
audio?
read. I don't have time to read.
But that's good to know because I've been...
So
Okay, that's good to
my
know.
recommendation is definitely do an audio version.
Okay.
You know, for the treadmill, for the people
Sure.
walking in the downtown,
Sure.
the mall walkers. You would be like this in the mall.
Don't do that. Don't do
That's
that.
you? That's
No,
you? Okay.
it's not me.
I'll
Trust
follow
me, she
you.
ain't.
I call them mall
She
walkers.
shopped.
Why
Yeah.
you here so early? The mall don't open up for 4
That's my
hours.
bag.
But they open
Most
up so
stores
that-
is open.
but
But
they
they,
open-
they like that.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
car,
Yeah, no, that's a good idea. I've heard a few people say, "Oh, are you gonna do an audio?"
Yeah.
And you should do it.
That's,
Yeah.
That's what they were
She has the
saying.
perfect voice.
Because we said, well, it's gonna be 2 versions. She'll do the one that when
The
you
soothing
get
version.
the soothing version, and then we'll do
The turn.
The turn
the
up.
turn up one.
That's
That
going. The
come in.
introduction gonna be trap music.
Untangled.
She said what she said. She said what she said.
She don't want no men. That's what she said.
That's good.
Untangled. Untangled.
Did you see her dance?
Get
Did you see her
some.
trap dance? Did you see her
Wait,
hand-
stop it.
hand trap dance? 2 more questions about the book.
Yes.
Okay. One, was it therapy for you?
No, it wasn't therapy for me. No. Because I hear you watched the replay.
It's just 7 seconds.
No, it wasn't therapy because it was stuff that I had already.
I didn't see this.
So stupid.
I'm sorry. This is
I had
too long.
already worked through a lot of stuff, so it wasn't so much. I wouldn't say it was therapy. It was more. I felt like my story was so many other women's story that it was more of like I have to get this out, and that there were moments where I felt like, what am I doing? Like this is stupid. Like nobody wants to read this, whatever. But then I would go to work and I would hear clients say the exact same thing that I had said a few years ago and feel the exact same way that I had felt. And so I was just like, okay, that was my motivation to keep writing, because I was like, women are still struggling with this. Like for whatever reason, when I went through it, there was a part of me that sort of felt like, okay, well, everybody, you just sort of forget that like, it's still like people are still struggling with that, with accepting who they are and living through somebody else's idea of who they're supposed to be. And so it wasn't so much that it was therapy for me. I just wanted to get it so that the people who needed it could get it.
Last question. Have you gotten any negative reactions from people who are discussed in the book?
No, and most people I gave them a heads up, like literally the day
You changed
before.
their names?
I didn't use names.
Okay.
I just talked about people. I just mentioned, other than like, I didn't use my ex-husband's name, but it's my ex-husband, so he knows. And so I texted him and I was like, by the way, this is going to be coming out in a couple hours. Just giving you a heads up. But we're friends. He was totally fine. He was like, I'm proud of you. He was like, so it was fine. And then a few other people, I just said, oh, heads up, you're referenced in the book. And my aunt that I was telling you about, I told her, and I was like, she was like, oh my God, I had no idea that me finding my happiness impacted you like that. And I was like, absolutely. And so, yeah, I just gave people a heads up, but yeah.
Congratulations to you.
Thank you. When did your book come out? It's been a long
Do
time.
you have an audio version?
Yes. 2013.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was difficult for me because during that time period, I didn't have any contact with him. So he's 19 now. So we have contact now. So the place where I was writing the book and how I felt maybe about his mom and those things, I'm in a different place now.
So was it therapeutic for you?
Was definitely. That's why I asked. Because it definitely was for me.
I'm sorry, I got questions.
I'm about to have questions too. You might have to come on this side of the table.
Right.
And
Let's do it.
The reason why I have questions is because I think that is like the most despicable thing a woman can do to a guy. And I say that because...
So y'all saying that like y'all think she knew. Y'all sound like my sister. Like she knew.
So that's the question I had before I even got there.
Her view is...
And what made you wonder?
She didn't know for sure, and it was between two people. I'm just telling you what she said.
Look at it.
But what made you question it, or did she feel?
I wasn't questioning it. So that's the other thing. So I had in my mind I had, especially when it happened, because we weren't together. It was an ex-girlfriend who we still messed around.
Right.
And when she said that she was pregnant, like I was in a new relationship, like we weren't messing around anymore. So it caught me off guard. So I was like, well, this can't be true. I'm trying to calculate, that kind of stuff. So I kind of doubted possibly. But as the pregnancy proceeded, I went to the visits and so I'm involved in this whole baby coming movement. And I just got swept in. Mm-hmm. I remember when we did the sonogram, and when I found out it was a boy, it was just it was a joyous thing. So, but then when he came out, I was kind of like, maybe could possibly, I don't know. But it just, I was like, okay, it's on my list to do this. You know what I mean? But I did not sign the birth certificate. Which was instrumental in this whole thing coming together, because I didn't sign the birth certificate. But I raised him, and just he lived with me. Like it was I was all in. You know what I mean? Right. His mother was kind of like on some, I'm gonna get my single woman on thing kind of here.
So you had him the whole 11 years.
No, I would say 5 of them. Yeah. So
what made so
okay? So right. So you're coming back. I found out he was 7. When he found out he was 11. Okay, so I knew when he was 7, and what brought it all out was we were going through custody at this time. So I was living in Atlanta and I was trying to bring him. She didn't want him to come, so we got this back and forth. Lawyer says, okay, well, I get either the summertime or I'm gonna get the school year, but it's one, it's one or the other. I didn't even care which one, but she was not trying to be receptive. So he was like, wait, you never established paternity. You're not on the birth certificate. We need to establish paternity. So you gotta do this, establish paternity, get your name on the birth certificate, and then I'm gonna get you one or the other.
Right.
And then everything.
Fine, do that. Okay, fine, no problem. Boom, boom, boom. What? It was a complete shock to me. It wasn't like I was like, look.
So that was at 7 years old.
Yes, that was at 7 years old. So when we found that out, she went through this whole denial process. No, it's got to be wrong. It can't be, you know what I mean? But when it was what it was, that's what it was. So I'm just like, well, who? Like, who is it? So it was the ex before me, who was somebody that, like I said, we broke up. So she was still, you know what I mean? But he was married at this time. So he wasn't married at that time, but now 7 years later, he's married. He got a family. He got kids. He's not even trying to hear nothing she's saying. It's just like an ex calling you up 7 years. Yeah, remember that time 8 years ago? We was like, just get off my phone. I got a family. So he wasn't even receptive at all. So my thing was, are we going to tell this 7-year-old
Yeah.
who only knows me,
Right.
I'm not your father. Somebody else is your father who doesn't want
want
you.
it. Ugh.
No, I didn't think that made sense. So I struggled with that.
Yeah.
So my parents was like, look, you got to tell him this is what it is. You got to. It hurts, but you got to tell him.
Yeah.
And I felt like he's 7. You know, I can't
Right.
tell someone who's 7. Like I'm going back to when I was 7. Like no, my mind couldn't comprehend that. So I said we don't have to tell him nothing. We just want to. His father don't want him, so he don't need to know about this, right? So we just kept going forward. So you got 4 years, but it was difficult because she didn't take the stance like I think most women would take. Like, oh my God, like I didn't have to do this, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So she took the like, look, well, I'm making a decision. This is my son, so we doing this. You know what I'm saying? So it was like it took away my 50% was completely gone now.
Right.
And so that was tough. And when he got to 11, we just reached a breaking point. It just was like, I'm like, look, I have to have some say so in this. And so she basically was like, well, fuck you then.
Right.
And by that time, he's divorced. He is he's a barber by trade, and so she had started taking him around him.
Okay.
And so it was like she had planned, I guess, to do this slow rollout to introduce him. So he knew who he was as far as you're the barber,
Right.
But he didn't know who
So did
I
y'all
am.
tell him together?
No, I wasn't involved in that part. And so this is what made me
Yeah.
right, because then it was a cutoff. So no contact for several years.
Wow.
And so that was the only thing I could do was just start to jot down the things.
Wow.
And that's how that went. But
Wow.
So
Wow.
And so let me
I
go
would
back
love
to
to hear
my
his story.
reason why I made that comment about being disciplined, because I think as a parent, when I think about being a parent and what that really means and what it entails, I just think as a woman, regardless of how many partners you have, I don't really give a shit. But if you don't know who your kid's father is, like at the very least, you should know that. Now, how you approach this messes with a kid's everything. If this is all they know, for the father all they know, and then you have to wrestle with how you feel about this kid. Like, no doubt you love the kid, no doubt you want to take care of the kid, but then you have conflicting things that you have to deal with, and dang, this ain't really my kid. At the time, I didn't really want a kid anyway. I mean, all of these things, and then you have to own all of that. And meanwhile, here you are as a woman who has no, to me, saying you have no control of your body. And I say that because as a woman, you know when you come on your cycle, you pretty much know when you ovulating. You know all these intimate things about your body. You tell me you won't take the next step to find out who.
Yeah.
Even if it was a battle between two, you wouldn't find out who that was. The damage you do to a child's psyche, like I just don't. I have no tolerance for that kind of foolishness, because as a woman, we are quick to say what a man won't do. But when the ball is in your court and you drop the ball literally in you, and I'm just saying, you drop the ball and you just can't take ownership of the fact that, you know what, damn.
Yeah. It's
I
very
messed up.
it's very Queen Sugar.
It's
Very Queen Sugar.
is it that kind of stuff happening?
Yeah,
I'm
it's
just
very
saying,
Queen
like,
Sugar.
I just had no, because
That's why I
I
said I would love to hear
just
the story from your son's
So do you still consider
perspective.
him
Yeah, because
your son?
Blue doesn't know yet.
Yeah, he don't know. How do you feel about him now? I know you say you have, but you talk to him now.
How do I feel about
Like,
it?
how do you feel about your relationship with him now?
It's not as good as I would like it to be, because it affected him negatively.
I bet.
You know what I'm saying? It affected him negatively. It especially the year that he found out, it was, I mean, you know, it was like he was acting out. Like he didn't. His school that year, they had we got to run this back. You know what I mean? Because he had to repeat it because it was so much.
It's a lot.
It was a lot that he was just fighting a lot, stuff in school. It was a lot. It was.
I mean, because
it was difficult.
those are a lot. Right, you already
For
dealing with
him,
them not as a teenager.
So it kind of made him just kind of
Yeah.
not express.
So then you have to figure out, who do I trust?
Right.
Because now
Exactly.
it's like, were you lying?
Because
Was
that's
she
what I'm
lying?
thinking. Like, you getting your hair cut by this dude for
Right.
however long, and it's like, I'm sorry, the guy who chair
Right.
I sat in
Yeah.
every week or every 2 weeks
Right.
was really, and he said,
Right.
like,
And then you got to
oh,
figure
yeah.
out like why didn't y'all tell
And then you
me?
wonder why
And
these
then
men have
ugh,
trust issues.
But
Then you walk
well-
on. Then it rolls over into relationships because
All
now
of
you
that.
can never trust a woman
That's
to look
right.
at her funny.
That's right.
Because if your mama is gonna lie
That's
to
And
you,
your
right.
mother gonna lie to you.
some
I'm just
old
saying,
raggedy chick is definitely gonna lie to you.
But I'm just saying,
If
as-
my
I know.
mama was playing somebody, some
But I'm
other
just
chick
saying,
could
I
definitely
just feel
play
like
me.
as
That
a
is
woman-
this
I
is a
don't
Yama
get-
fix my life.
This is a fix my life. Because you know she was getting that ass.
just tell her. Just tell her.
I'm
So
just saying,
he,
like,
yeah, I
just-
mean,
yeah.
He needs to be swallowed.
he turned out
I need to
okay. He turned out okay. It would have been, you know, his mother has said that, you know, she said she's wrong. She's apologized.
Okay.
She
That's
definitely feels in hindsight like she wished it was the other way, you know, because he wasn't the best
Yeah.
choice.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that's affected things.
Which is probably why she did it in the first, like,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's my
let
father
things play
said.
out. Yeah,
That's
that's
my
probably why she
father
let
said.
things play out.
But isn't that why most people do it? No, seriously. It's because
They
you
know
want.
the
It's
better
either
choice,
it's
yeah.
either one or two things. That person can take care of the kid and want to take care. So three things: want
Yeah.
to take care of the kid, or I want to be with him.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be him. So if those are the three,
Yeah.
everything, all three are selfish. Because when does the kid come into play in mind outside of you giving birth to this kid?
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, like, I've seen this story, and I hate to say it before. And what hurts me the most is that, because especially by having a brother, because most of the time it's always in the favor of the mother. Assuming that as a mother you're gonna do the right
Yeah.
Give
thing.
your
It's
child's
always
best interest at
assumed that the
heart.
mother's gonna do the right thing.
Right.
And what I'm saying is, stop trying to act like women are like we do
Yeah.
other things.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
like not. Don't say it's not an innate, but she's a mother. Why
Yeah.
would she? It's
She's a
no,
woman.
how's it the best interest
She's a woman,
of the
she's a
child?
person.
Right?
Yeah.
You still human. You're a person. You got feelings. You got feel some
Yeah.
sort of way. But it's just so messed up because of the residual that it leaves
Right.
for the father,
Yeah.
the son, and all of that. Well, not always, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm
Wow.
just saying. Everybody's affected. It's just
I'm
too
not
much.
true today.
Which then, because we was just talking about that. Thanks for bringing that up, because we was just talking about that whole thing about child support, and that somebody, I think it was Chris Brown, the daughter's mother said she
I don't
wanted
think
more
that
money.
one episode was about Chris Brown, but yeah.
No, that wasn't about Chris Brown, but I'm saying that when I was
Oh, that's how the conversation got started.
got
Okay.
started about needing money. She wanted $20,000, whatever. But my point is that sometimes it's like, can we just look at? I mean, I understand you accustomed to a certain lifestyle, but it's just even everyday people. You know, I've seen men who are trying to pay child support, trying to do the right. Now, granted, you shouldn't be out here having 20 babies. We get it. But it just, a lot of times it does work in the man's favor. And I've been on the other side of trying to get child support. I've been down that road. So
Yeah.
I can speak from
Yeah.
experience from
Yeah.
that side of it. But also having a brother, I've seen the other side
Yeah.
where they get screwed as well
Yeah.
because of, their own situation or whatever. It's just, I just feel like it's just never a win-win. It's never a win. Like,
when the
people-
when the adults don't get along.
Yeah.
And don't act like adults, it's not a
Yes.
win.
And it's just painful. I just hate to see it. I just hate that.
Because then it becomes, particularly for the celebrities and stuff, it seems like it becomes about the money.
Oh, that's what it is about.
You
And
know?
I'm like, why
Yeah.
you need for a 4-year-old $20,000? I'm sorry.
what?
Because they're not eating caviar.
They're not.
Well, that
And
was
if
the
they
other
are,
thing
they
about
shouldn't
the
They're not even in private school yet.
right.
So
you
you're
had to
paying-
get-
you're
no,
paying for
but get this.
nannies and-
Her mother takes care of the daughter.
And
And
is
getting
getting
paid.
paid as the nanny.
Oh, interesting.
The plot thickens, right? You got a lot going on here.
Interesting.
And so, and the other question was if somebody got more than one kid.
Well, that's just like with Kevin Federline and Britney Spears.
Oh.
He has custody.
Oh.
He has
Remember she
custody.
had the situation.
Oh,
where she-
right.
okay.
Right. And so he was asking for more money. He was asking for
right.
like 40,000 or whatever. But there's
A month?
two boys.
Right.
Yeah. And so that was the issue. Was sort of like, and she's not. Her dad is still in charge of her finances and stuff.
Oh, okay.
So and he has other kids.
You with the
By-
with the girl from
And his wife, current wife.
Right.
Oh,
So he
yeah.
has kids on both sides.
Dang.
So he want 40,000 to take
First
care
of all,
who?
he needs
So
to
that's-
set the hell down.
Right,
So that's
let's
part of the
start
winning.
there. So how many
And because
kids?
he was like, he had his own, he was working.
Two with
initially.
Brittany, at least
But
one
that's
with the
the dance.
girl
He
that
was
was
a
the
DJ. No, he was a
Oh,
DJ.
DJ. Oh,
At least
after
one with the
dancing.
girl that was the actress, right?
Right, he
Yes.
has one.
Wait, what's her name? Shar
something.
Jackson.
Yeah.
So he
okay.
has kids on that, so they're older.
Oh, okay, right.
Oh, it's
then-
more than one.
Yeah, they got
I think
two
it's
kids,
two.
right?
I think it's
they got
two.
2 kids together. You got 2
But
kids.
nonetheless,
Got going on.
Even if it is one, it's older. And then
Right.
he's got, I think, 1 or 2 with his current wife.
And then 2.
And then
with
2
Brittany.
with Brittany.
So he won 40,000.
I think it's because I think he's getting 20 now. So I think he might want 20 more. And so I think the issue,
Oh, $1,000.
$20.
just $20.
I thought you were talking about
just
children.
for a meal.
Oh no, 20,000.
That's why I
No,
went,
the
whoa.
money, yeah, 20,000. So then the issue becomes, like, are just those two accustomed to a certain life?
So
Yeah.
Or
that
is this
was
the
the
other?
That was the
conversation.
question. That was the
Yeah.
conversation.
Or is it all
So
of
wait,
them? It's
yeah.
like, are those
The-
two just going to private
The
school, but not the rest?
conversation was, and I don't remember the specific details. We was listening to the radio. Me and my mom were in the car, and there was a man that was paying child support for his one child with this woman.
Right.
However, this woman had 2 children. And I guess the other father was a deadbeat, wasn't really taking
Right.
care of doing anything. So she was literally taking the child support that the father was giving her for the one, splitting it between the 2. And I think she may have asked him for something in addition. And he's like, I don't understand why what I'm giving you isn't enough.
Right.
On top of the fact that I still, when I have my child, take care of him, blah, blah, blah. And I guess she had to explain that I needed to do for
She had to
both
do
of them.
something. It's like she had to buy something.
And
for
so
others.
Yeah.
he was upset because he's like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I understand that's your child, but it's not mine. And
Yeah.
I'm doing what I'm supposed to do by being responsible
Right.
and taking
Yeah.
care of my child. How dare you take that money and use it
Yeah.
for your other
Yeah.
child? So me and my mother had a debate because I
What did
sided
your
with
mother
him.
say?
I thought he was absolutely correct. I'm like, if you guys take some extra shifts somewhere, get another job, do what you gotta do to make sure that other child feels just as loved as the one, do what you gotta do. Because that man is doing what he's supposed to. But my mother felt like no woman in her right mind is going to ever do more for one child and not the other. And if there's finances that allow me to do for both of my children, I'm going to take care of both of my kids.
But then guess what? Then I don't think she should be asking for more money. Then.
Right. That's the thing.
That I think that's
Because once you put it in
once
the
you put
account,
it, yeah, that's it.
and then you do what you want
You
with
do
it.
what you want with it, and
making
that's
sure
how-
that.
right.
But to go back and say,
You
yeah, I need
can't ask
extra.
for more money. Then that's what I think. That's where I think the problem
Yeah.
lies. You can't get extra
Yeah.
because you.
Yeah.
And then the question. Then hold on. Then you gotta make sure that she doing right by that kid, because if she
Right.
don't like you, even though you paying more, but getting the other kid because she like this, like it gets
But
real.
even if it's
no,
not-
it gets real dicey. You know, it gets
I know.
real.
Even if it's not doing
Because
for,
it's just-
even if it's not asking for more money.
Horrible.
But if that child comes to the father and say, "Hey, Dad, I wanted to get those shoes for the first day of school, but mommy said we ain't have enough money to get it," and he like, "Whoa,
Well, where-
your
Yeah,
mother
I
got
just
more
sent-
than enough
yeah,
money.
yeah.
I just sent
Let me
her."
show you my check.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, she always tell me she don't have it to
See,
do
here we go.
because
That's it.
money tight and blah blah blah. And then if he confronts her,
Oh.
Yeah, that's what do you do?
Yeah.
And that's
Damn
not,
it, man.
like, but again, because I've been in the child support system,
okay, I thought you
and
did.
I know because the painful part is that you have to go through this,
Yeah.
right? And so when you're dealing with men, fathers that should be doing something and not, like, I think it took everything. I always thought I was the bigger person in the situation, and I hated being the bigger person because I was like, why can't I be?
Yeah,
petty?
that's never fun.
Why can't I be a petty person?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Why can't?
It's
But
not-
all
yeah.
I keep thinking about is what is that going to do for this child? And me
Right.
and Nia's stepmom always talk about how that relationship that her and I had when we came into, like, we were young, it was all new, but we knew anything we did was going to be for the benefit of Nia. Period. Right. So a lot of things we didn't do and we didn't argue. We just didn't. We had a family meeting. We talked about it, and I told her not too long ago that when I knew that what we had decided and talked through was working, is when my child at 7 or so years old comes to me and said, "Mommy, can we all live together?" And I was like, "Who?" And she was like, "Me, because she called Pat daddy, and then my dad and Mama Sherry. I'm like, whoa. I mean, I know it all looks like we all get along, but then I knew we was doing the right thing. And so what I'm saying is that when you're dealing with child support and the system and all that, it gets so complicated because it's still, a lot of times there's still feelings involved. If you can take out the feelings of how they wronged you and did this, that, and the other, just do what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean?
You gotta take the emotion out of it.
You gotta take all of that out.
You gotta take the emotion out.
You gotta do right by those kids. Now, I get like,
but that takes being an adult and mature.
It does. And a lot of us don't. I mean, it's tough. Because a lot of times is when the last time that person wronged you.
And also, it's the therapy that needs to be had as well. Because if you the little boy who found out that his father was the barber, and that's the situation, and now you have this idea, this image of how women are or how people lie and how life is messed up. It's how can you tell somebody in that mind frame to be an adult and be responsible?
Right.
Nobody was an adult and responsible for me.
Gotta get untangled.
Yeah. You gotta get untangled.
Black women's journey to personal, spiritual, and
But think about the therapy that baby gonna need for that.
Absolutely.
And if he's not already in it,
absolutely.
Don't start.
We still talking. She's like, untangled.
That's how she goes. It's just what it is. It don't matter at any given moment. All you gonna be walking. It's gonna be like, you know the movie. What was that movie? It was some movie, and they do that every time somebody feels untangled by it. Like just on cue.
Anytime somebody says untangle, that's what I'm gonna do.
No, but
you should.
No, you should. So all of that. We kind of took a turn, but seasons change.
And seasons would definitely change if you find out that
hell yeah,
your son isn't your son.
That's just
like that's a whole.
I hate. Oh. Anyway, but yeah. So anyway, we are excited to be back.
Yes.
Yes. So every other Wednesday.
Every other Wednesday,
and we'll be bringing on more guests.
Yes.
Next time we come back, we'll have a guest, Emma, who you saw before when we did
we
our
ended
this season with Emma, and she's coming back to do more of her sex therapy
talk about sex.
Talk about sex and just and not just about sex, like what you need to do this that and the other, but we wanted to have a more open dialogue about the things we don't talk about.
Right.
Yeah, things we should be talking about when it comes to sex, even for our young people.
Yes.
You know, I was just listening to a woman saying how we need to get out of the habit of the kids need to know the real names of things.
Oh, yes.
You know, and I was like, for so many years, I mean, you just heard these crazy names and stuff, but just they need to
call
be
it what it is.
What it really is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Of course, age appropriate.
Yeah.
But
this should be a good conversation.
We'll talk about things like that. And right.
Yeah.
You know,
because it's a penis and it's a vagina.
I feel like that's always age appropriate. That's what it is.
It's always age appropriate.
But I mean, I think how you explain. I guess you'll talk about that. But yeah, so we're excited to be back, everyone. Thank you for joining us today on Facebook Live, and don't forget to share this because you'll be able to play it back.
Please share,
and go to the website.
And we will have to put the link to Untangled on our Asada Shade page. Untangled,
a Black woman's journey to personal, spiritual, and sexual freedom.
She messed up that. I'm sorry.
Say it again. Sorry.
Untangled.
Untangled, a Black woman's journey to personal, spiritual, and sexual freedom. Available on Amazon Kindle.
Get your copy.
Yes. Today.
But then don't forget, there's gonna be 2 versions. It'll be Victoria's
the soft,
voice,
soothing voice,
and then
the trap.
Untangle. What are you doing?
What are you doing? That was Victoria. That was a chance word. What are you doing?
Anyway, so make
That's
sure
how you close out
make
the
sure
book.
you
Won't he do it?
Make sure you tell everybody about Asada Shade. Share this page. Share this link to the video. Please. We want to see you every other Wednesday.
And give us topics, remember.
Yes.
Yeah, write in. Tell us
what y'all
what you want to talk about.
What do y'all want to talk about?
What do you want to hear us talk about?
Yes. Because I know y'all got stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
And things have been building up all summer long.
Yeah.
And we want to hear from y'all. So we're going to get back into having y'all call in and join the conversation.
Yeah. Message us.
Yes.
Stay tuned in.
Yes.
Because we're back.
We are back. And so, this is Krishna.
Are we signing out, though?
We are.
But we're not, though.
But we're not.
But we're not. Who's signing us out?
We're signing ourselves
out. We're signing ourselves out.
Because we got this cue.
We ain't got the cue that it was
But
over.
It's still recording.
Oh, well, we could just still shut it down ourselves.
I mean,
and I'm
or we could just keep going.
And I'm Victoria.
And I'm Kristen.
And we're out. See you in 2 weeks.
Don't forget Untangled.
Goodbye.
Black Woman's Journey to Personal, Spiritual, and Sexual Freedom, available on Amazon Kindle.
Wait, that wasn't the right voice. Untangled.
A Black Woman's Journey to Personal, Spiritual, and Sexual Freedom, available now on Amazon Kindle.
Get your copy today.
So foolish. Good night.
Night.